So as we're rolling, now I'm working with Chok. Chok is like my artist, you know.
Sure.
And he's good with performances. Then I partnered him up with Usbanga so that we give like a dope show, right? So I think the boys mind, and they even made jokes about it. They thought I'm replacing Lou
with Chok.
Chok.
Oh.
1, 2.
This is your boy DJ Bigsky, Mr. Fire, Mr. Kushu Kushu, Mr. Polo, and you're watching Everything South African Music SA.
Okay, DJ Bigsky.
Brother.
Welcome to Everything SA Music, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let's just start with the background story. Where were you from and where you originally born?
Okay, Bigsky, Mncedisi Mnguni was born in Parakwana Hospital, early infant state. I grew up in Deep Kloof. Then we moved to Dobsonville, and that's where I spent basically a bulk of my life, you know.
Sure.
Up until like adulthood, where I moved out of home, etc., etc. But messy bear, but I didn't in Dobsonville.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's
okay. So tell me, how was it back in that time, like Dobsonville? What's your early memory of the place? How was it?
Yo, dog, like we got to Dobsonville like very early. I think when the extensions were being built, you know. Yeah, so we got there around that time. We didn't like even have a fence. Like, you know, when the entire Kasie doesn't have a fence.
Sure.
And it's just a road and stuff, you know. Yeah, so it was that, and I mean, I was a kid. It was just nice growing up in that environment. We played a lot. I thought one day that I was gonna be a soccer star, because like that's what we did a lot. We played a lot of soccer, Kokasi. It was just music all the time. You know, like my parents really love music, and it was weird because it was a weird combination. My dad is very jazz influenced, you know, and my mom just liked the pop stuff, you know. So I had like the both sounds, like really sort of like, if you were to compare it to today's music, you'd say I had deep and commercial in the household all the time. So that's how I think maybe the bug bit, you know.
So tell me, if you would have to describe maybe 2 songs, and you describing your household, that song was always playing when you're at home. Like when you hear that song, you think of back then.
I don't know the title of the song, but on Sundays it's Duke Ellington. What else? Morningberg by who's this? He's a jazz pianist. Abdul Ibrahim. That's the Sunday vibe. Right. That's my dad all the time, bro. Like, you'd come home on a Saturday, it's a blind, you sing Kasie you know. That was the vibe all the time. Then my mother, on the other hand, she'd be rocking anything from your Brenda Fassie to Yvonne Chaka Chaka, to literally like anything and everything in between, you know. But my dad was like jazz connoisseur. You know, I remember when I started DJing, I started DJing with vinyl and stuff.
Sure.
And I took his vinyl bag, took out all his vinyls, and when I started buying and collecting, I used this vinyl bag. I used to carry it like this to gigs and stuff, you know. Yeah, so it was pretty cool, actually, now that I think about it, you know.
Like back in the day with those vinyl, you didn't have like a vinyl boy. You know, everyone, all those DJs had vinyl boys.
Vinyl boy was for the boys that made it.
You were still on the
I mean, my man, you know, if you want us to start trouble with me, I will punch you with my right hand, because the right hand is the right one. You know, yeah. So there were no there were no managers. There were no road managers. It was just us and just showing up at shows. All we wanted to do was play.
But take us back though, like when did you start around like going to gigs? When did you start pursuing music as a career? Because we can all have influences in the household, you know?
So from high school days, I used to really like be into music, you know, as those kids that like would jump on stage like and like the truffle like you know? Yeah, like performing numbers of Maheu, BOP, trompetes, like a huge fan of trompetes. I was called Trompy at school. That's how bad it was. Yeah.
Maybe the piece was because you're not short, you know.
You know, so from high school, it was that intense. Then tertiary, it was like security, but no, like go study something to secure the band and whatever. You know, then I did chemical engineering.
Wait.
So that means you were like you were studying hard. You were smart in high school.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm still smart.
You're still smart.
You know, you have to have what's that score? I don't know what they used to call it. A score.
APS score.
42.
Yeah. I'm those kids.
Yo.
I used to study with Spoo at school, DJ Spoo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was doing electrical, so it was Spoo.
Vets man.
Yeah, it was Spoo, it was me, it was Tato Matawoche used to host with Fresh, the Tato and Tato show, you know. So that was the clique.
You guys used to chill together, or you bump into each other?
I used to chill a lot with Tato, every day type of vibe. And Spoo would bump into him every now and then, you know. I think like second year, Tato started doing the whole YFM thing. Spoo was just like in and out, you know, like he was that guy. Like, just the hustler that he is today. You know, you'd see him in school and you'd be like, oh, you're in school, you know? Yeah.
But then was he actually attending? Because
classes.
I don't know, because I wasn't in the same faculty as him. But we used to just like bump into each other randomly, you know.
Would he sell you like phones or stuff?
Yeah, I'm sure he like in the train and like I'm gonna get or something, you know. Yeah, but that was the vibe. So literally, I think my tertiary life was, I didn't participate much in the culture. You know, we'd have like small groups with guys chilling at the back of the cafeteria. Other guys were like playing guitars, and we would sing and we'd freestyle and do a lot of stuff. You know. I remember this one time, a friend of mine, I don't remember which international guy's song we were singing. You know? So we're like just not freestyling, but like backtracking the guy.
Sure,
know?
yeah.
And singing. And it's like, dude, like what are you doing here? Type of vibe, you know? Because it had become apparent to them that actually this guy needs to be on the other side.
Sure.
You know? So, long story short, I think it was about 2003. That's when I started my company. Probably that's when you were
when I was born in 98, but when I think about it, I'm like, that's a while ago.
You know, so around 2003, me and my friend of mine started a company, which is the company I'm still with now. Urban Vibes Productions.
Really?
So, yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
You didn't lose the papers, those CIPC.
No, dog. Like everyone left. I'm alone now.
You
know, but yeah, that's a story for another day. But anyway, me and a boy of mine, Tumelo, we actually met at UJ now, Vets Tech. There, we met there, and we had this dream, man. Tumelo liked clothing and looking cool and whatnot. And I just had like this business head going, you know. And you know, when he did arts and I was in engineering, so I didn't even know how we met. But we met and we vibed and we're like, you know what, let's start something and let's just throw events and stuff like that, you know. And then we registered the company with another guy called Ben. I don't know where Ben is. He used to be like a barman or something.
Okay.
And then we registered the company. then started throwing like few events, and we ordered a lot of DJs money, you know. I think the first event we threw, we had Soli Vista on.
Okay.
Yeah. We had Soli Vista as like the main act, and Funky Lemon.
But how did you do it? Like,
it's not easy to throw an event and for you to start a company in varsity in jail.
No, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how we did it. I don't like. Literally, we had a gig at Cool Runnings. As is 2 boys from Dobsonville. It was my first time at Cool Runnings, right? But Tumelo na speed, so like he'd be here, there, and everywhere. You know what I mean?
People.
Yeah. So we had a gig at Cool Runnings, underground. You know where they used to host the comedy shows. Okay, you guys are like. So Cool Runnings in Melville used to like host comedy shows underground. So we had a gig there. And we knew Soli Vista from Kokasi through Machita of ours and stuff. And we asked him nicely, like, dog, please come through and play. Like, okay, cool, I'll come through.
Did you have to pay him?
We have to pay him. I owe Soli Vista 1.5.
That's how much he was charging for it.
Yeah, then it's like 1.5. It's like, no, 9. So in our head, like, this thing's gonna pop, dog, you know?
1.5 is small, man.
It's more. But then.
So, I mean, like, at the back of your head, you're gonna make it.
Yeah, you know? Then Brr comes through, Funky comes through, crowd doesn't come through. Ish, you know? So we are there.
How many people?
Like friends and fam.
Only they pulled down.
Yo, man, you know?
You didn't get the marketing right. What happened?
I don't know. Like, it's that long ago. I don't know. But, you know, people didn't pull through. And the brews went tough. You know, they're like, I know it's cool, dog. You know, whenever you're alright, you're going to sort it out. You know? Like, okay, cool. And then we had a second event. So we had like a young partnership with some Jew guy who was selling sound. And he was like, so, how can I move the stuff? Like, I know, okay, cool. Now by then I started making a few relations with guys in the hood, other DJs and stuff. Then we hooked up with Mbuso.
But by that time, were you even DJing?
No, not yet. Okay. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna be in the entertainment space.
Business-wise.
Yeah, I don't really trust that I can like be an entertainer.
Sure.
But I know that I can run the business.
You got the business chops,
you know? Like, kind of cool. Then we jump, then we hook up with Mbuso. Mbuso, Mbuso was like the big-ish then. Mbuso was Black Coffee. Yeah, like you know the wave via coffee now.
Sure. Mbuso was huge.
DJ Mbuso.
DJ Mbuso is that guy which did classics.
Soweto Funk.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
So that's DJ Mbuso. So Mbuso was like, yo, dog, I don't know if I can cast you, but like DJ Mbuso was the shit. You know?
I hear we just shit.
Yeah, DJ Mbuso was like the shit, dog. Like, you know, Black Coffee Vibes, like I said, you know, the guy that was playing internationally, founder of Soul Candy, the works, man. You know what I mean? Like, he was like the epitome. So there's a guy that was really I looked up to and said, you know, this is a nigga I want to be like. I don't even know how we met, but we met, had convos. Look, there's these things that we're moving. We'd like to do a promo show with you. It's like, no, let's vibe. Went swimming pool there. You know Jake in Soweto.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, Orlando. We had a gig there. This is our second gig. Okay.
Sure.
You know what I mean? This is you know, like
Jake.
Yeah, that's how Bigsky is always big. How we enter Jake, bring sound. Mbuso brings the entire BFR crew. That was like his crew, China, Claude, Bobo, Hoto, you know? And like these were like the cats there, dog. Like Soweto was, these were the, you know, Stogie now and Jelly, those were the niggas. Those are like the niggas. Yeah. So they pulled through. And then this one pops. And also we had like a huge nice time there. We had a brand that even sponsored the gig, you know.
So the company made profits that night.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
You know? It was nice how we vibed.
Did you pay that guy back?
Which guy?
Even forgot.
The first guy. The 1.5.
No, we had other arrangements, so we're cool. We're not. Nah, don't now go and Nelson is watching this thing. Konje,
man.
yeah, we're right. You know, yeah, we're right. We kept it moving. He was there as well. You know, so he rocked. Then after that, I mean, now we've got confidence. Like the company is popping. But when the guys were there, then I started like making closer relations with understudy Mbuso, yabo? So the guy called Uslaga Laki.
Okay.
So he was like the road manager, sub manager Mbuso. So we were talking to him most of the time with arranging the gig.
Okay.
And when it was done, like he was like the guy that we were close with. And there's another guy called Star. Now Star was the star of the show, the gig that we did. Like he just rocked, you know. So from there I'm like, yo, dude, what's up? Cool, nice. Look, I actually want to DJ. So I don't know if you like have time to, you know, hook a nigga up.
Sure.
Like, I know, cool. Touch number me, hit me up, and then we'll make time.
What type of phones?
And rock.
Whose phones were
Yo, dog, I think then I had a Philips Savvy.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah,
Philips doesn't even make phones anymore.
Yeah.
washing machine?
I remember it had like a tunnel ringtone.
So, yo.
Yeah, you
So
know.
that's when you began DJing.
Yeah, so then it started. So I hit up Star Mvethu, then he mises me. I mize.
But it still happens till today.
Sure. So and I never took it like even then, even today, I don't take mising personally. You understand? Because nigga has his own ish, and if my ish is gonna happen, it's gonna happen with or without it. And that's how I always look at stuff, even today. You know? So he mises me. After 2 weeks, I mize him. I'm like, yeah.
It didn't get back to me.
Yeah, man.
Even me, I'm like that, to be honest.
Yeah. Then one Sunday, I remember I was on a date, you know? One Sunday, homie hits me up. Don't forget, now I still have my day job, life, you know?
That's what I wanted to ask you,
so
because you jumped that part. I wanted to say, did you like graduate chemical engineering?
Okay, so, you know, with tertiary. Yeah, so with tertiary, you gelez and then you go do your practicals.
Oh, yeah.
So I gelez and then went to do my practicals for like 6 months. And I hated it. Right? But I had what's called P1. I don't know what it's called now with the DJ Vibes. So P1 is like first 6 months of the experiential training. So I had P1 and I was like,
I can't do this.
This thing.
It's not for me.
Yeah,
So do you take practicals on the 3rd year or 4th year?
Third year.
3rd year.
Yeah. So diploma is 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
And then the last year is
The practical.
the practical.
Sure.
So I was like 2.5 in. So in between, like I'd like have jobs here and there, you know.
So how did you break it to your parents?
My dad hated me for like 2 years straight.
Sure.
Yeah, like I was pissed off, you know. And I understand, you know. But even before going into like tech, I had hinted to them with I want this vibe, and they're like, no, not with our man.
Yeah.
You know. So, but then
But
when
that's how they are, even now.
yeah.
You know?
So it was a juggle. Like I used to like have a day job. After the day job, I'd go pick up Tumza and then we go do a hustle and So that's just how it went.
Sure.
So there was no pressure for me, especially financially. You know, it was something I really liked to do, but I was like, whatever, you know.
Sure.
So when Prur reminds me, it was easy for me to be like, not even gonna pull up at this guy's door. You know, I had my nice Nissan Sentra rolling, you know.
Sure.
So Hannies went the problem.
Yeah, so
the
that's
cash was okay, you know.
So you're nice.
Yeah, but I'm nice. Like I'm saying, this one Sunday I'm on a date there. Calls me, I was like, how in man,
Sure.
what does it mean?
I'm like, oh, bro, I mean, I see you. I was like, no, but I mean, if you really want this thing, you know? I'm like, yeah, I want it. Like, okay, cool. Come through. Like, okay, I'm at a date. Like, okay, it's fine. You'll find me here when you're done. That Sunday, I'm like, hey, Bill, please.
Same time.
Same time, I pay.
Second.
And out, you know, drop the honey. That Sunday, my first. Damn. Then Bro taught me how to play. When I was nice, they sort of robbed me into the BFR. BFR was like Mbuso's crew. They robbed me in. Yeah. So we'd like be at their gigs.
Started rolling with them.
Yeah, be at their gigs. Started doing clubs, pubs and stuff, you know.
Okay, wait. The first one. Were you playing horses? First gigs. Yeah, and they all look at you.
I bet.
Did you look at the decks and say, I know what's going on? You know when you do something bad,
you blame the decks.
I used to play like this. And then when the horse come, I look even further. You know? Yeah. And plus vinyls went like the technology of today.
It's a real horse.
Sure. That one, if it's a horse, it's a horse.
Yes.
And like you ride with it, it's a pick six. You know. But then I bought myself decks. I bought myself decks, some crazy issue, man. My Gemini. Lower end, you know, belt drive. You always don't know nothing about it.
I'm so confused.
I have no idea.
You know, bought myself decks. So me and my homies, the DJ T4 and BK. So they like pull up at my home, and like that's like staple for the day.
But to me, it sounds like you've never really had any like financial problems ever since you
did that second gig.
Yeah, ever since you did the second gig, it's like, you know, you were nice because you had the jobs on the side. Like you were good in jail.
Not good. I was okay.
Yeah.
You know, so I was okay. I could afford to go buy a few tracks, and if you think about it, like a vinyl would be like 100 rand, 150, and you just have one song.
Sure.
So the craft was very expensive then, you know. That's why then you had like very few DJs. Unlike today, you know, where somebody gets bored and they're like,
I want to be a DJ.
Yeah, you know. So back then it was like, it was a very expensive craft to be involved in. So the span used to help a bit, you know. But I've always been like money conscious. So like I'd go and like buy three tracks a month and you know. Yeah,
but I want actually. I'm sorry. Cool. I want to help like upcoming DJs to make them understand that it's possible to have a job on the side while you are still on the way up. You know, because you don't have to leave completely, because you still gonna need to live. You still gonna need to survive.
Yeah. So I too, dog. You know.
Sure.
What I also learned over time is that dedication to the craft is important as well. You know, because if you've got if this is your side hustle, then it's gonna give you side hustle results. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Making sense.
Yeah. But so you've got your day job that pays you for whatever that you do there, whether you hate it or you love it, and then this is like your side hustle. Right, it's like a little shop that I've got there just for chip change.
Sure.
So it's gonna give you that. Right?
If you want everything, you have to go all in.
If you want everything, you have to go all in. You know, you have to go all in. You have to use your craft and
your resources.
The resources and the brains that you've got.
Sure.
You know what I mean? There's people that have made it who started from nothing, who literally were just carrying people's bags. Oskido used to sell Vos rolls outside a club, you know, and use that money to collect some vinyls.
How everyone knows the story
of Oskido.
You buy Vos rolls for me?
No, but I mean that's what he tells. Like if somebody were to relate my story later,
sure, it's inspiring.
Stuff like this, you know, and those are people that you look up to and some, yo, bro, how did you get there? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you follow them and you listen to what they say and you see their moves and, you know, you try to make your moves based on those moves, you know. So we all have our stories to tell in different ways, you know. I probably would have had a different outcome had maybe I stuck to it. Because for me, it was mostly about the security. So every time this thing seems like...
when the going gets tough.
Why am I killing myself? I mean, I could be I could be successful in corporate, then I jump out and go, you know. Then I get when I'm in the corporate, then this thing is like, you know, there's this thing that you need to do,
which is your passion.
You know, there's this thing, there's this thing that you need to do, and then I always go back. I think maybe I jumped out like 2 times from it. Then I went back, and the last time that I jumped back, that's when, before the last time. So I pushed the DJing thing. Then I tried to be creative, and because then I was like, okay, there's a lot of DJs, man. Everybody's just coming through, rocking the rocking songs, and right. Then I met a girl called Busi. She used to play keys, and at the time, a lot of people were starting to do the whole thing of DJing and having a sessionist, which a lot of people were doing percussion.
Yeah, like a percussionist. Yeah.
Percussionist. Then I saw Sign Ribatone playing. I don't know if you know them. Sign Ribatone is like a DJ, and the other guys playing keys. So after seeing them, then I bumped into this girl. She's playing at some gig, playing keys. She's mean, this one. Have a chat with her. Yo, what's up? Cool. What's your vibe? No. I just play. I was playing with a friend of mine here. Okay, cool. How's about we chat something? I know, cool stuff. And we built a brand called Jezul. And then that thing like took off, because everywhere we play, yes, there's the DJ who's rocking, and there's this girl on keys.
Sure.
Right? And the only girl they know on keys was Alicia Keys. Sure. And then there's Boost, and she's killing it. So promoters like went wild over that thing, and it gave us a lot of gigs. I mean, we had tours with like Castle, Milk Stout across the country, you know what I mean? And this is a brand that's not like a household in the country, but because of the product that we're giving. Then we did tours and stuff, and that ran for like, I think 3 years. And then when we started, we needed then to grow into the music, and it sort of fell through the cracks,
Those 3 years or which years?
Sure, bro. I think it was 2009. Yeah.
Okay.
2009. Yeah. Because I also then, during that, also started to do label management for Mncedisi Mnguni. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I know this one.
You were managing him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So I was actually managing the whole label, Guys like Sculptured Music came from there. CDM came from there. I met people like Black Coffee through that. I met people like Polo through that.
How do you get into the label management though? Like, do you just decide that, okay, the DJ thing couldn't work with it did work?
No, it was working. So I was managing the label while pushing Jezul as well.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
you were busy. Yeah, we're no busy.
It's always been my life. It's always been like that. Even today, it's always been like that. So I'd be on the side, managing the label, hooking up tours across the country, taking a few bookings of Jezul. When Jezul's not playing, we jump onto the tour. You understand? Yeah. So we just keep it moving. Like,
sure, yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Yeah. And we're cool with the entire clique. Guys like God Heaven was part of Rafiki. Who else was in there? So a lot of guys. So and Z, because of that song, then started making links outside the country. People like your Louis Vega,
sure.
Anane, Manu,
Okay.
You know what I mean? So those are people that like we started interacting with during that time. I started pushing and we're pushing the label. Like I said, hooked up with a lot of guys, coffee and you know. And then during that time, I think then we moved to around 2009, 10, 11, 12-ish. And then 2014, when I had my second kid.
Okay.
And I was like, you know?
Sure. It's time to get serious.
Hey, these things are not bringing me enough coins, man, you know? Then I went back to the engineering. That's actually when I finished the diploma. So I went back to engineering, worked at a engineering company, went back to school to finish. Then I said, no, but you studied long ago, so you need to do a few modules as well too, you know? Then literally went onto the books again.
But let's talk about that though. Let's talk about falling back, having something to fall back on. Because for me, your story, it's a perfect example of like having passion for the entertainment, but also having that security on the side, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's not just everybody that's gonna be able to make it. So let's talk about you having something to fall back on.
I think for me, besides having something to fall back on or a plan B is important. But it's more important to just have education. You understand? So and I think that's where a lot of artistic people lose it. Because you're artistic and you know, you just get into this thing because you are talented and you just do it and whatever. And then when it backfires, you don't have alternatives.
Yeah.
So that's why I get it. For me, besides just having a plan B or just the education of, because mone scale
it's not necessarily about the certificate.
But mone scale Wednesday, or it's easier for you to be consumed or be pulled into other forms of making dough.
Of surviving.
You understand?
Sure.
So you can go work somewhere because you are able to operate a computer, or you can type out a report if your boss needs one. Do you understand what I mean? So those basic things, that's your plan B.
Okay.
Right? And then you can, cause like Konamanje, I haven't been in school in a while, but it won't take me too long to get back.
You're not starting from the beginning.
I'm not starting from scratch.
Sure.
It's not like, man, type of vibe, you know what I mean? So I think what we need to push the most scale, just being educated, just being smart, because you also need it also in the arts. That's why you see a lot of artists and stuff start losing cash because they can't read a contract. They can't you understand? Like,
stuff like they're just uneducated basically.
Well, and it's something that I think they can empower themselves with as they go, even when, because backgrounds aren't the same. Nabantu Valley, like we were lucky that our parents could put us through school. There's people that can't, you know, where the arts is survival. But once then the survival starts working, then you equip yourself to now take it to a higher level. You know, do you think Bruce would be able to now go and rock internationally and make the coins that they're making when they don't understand the financial behind it?
They can't.
Or they don't understand the contracts behind it.
Even just making that engagement of interacting with people.
Do you get what I mean? So it's not only about just being able to sing and being able to write dope music, but it's also about understanding, because when you're an artist, you're a business.
Sure.
You understand?
Yeah.
You're a business, because like any business, you can, in December, you can make 10 million. And then in 6 months, you can make 0 million. But you need to understand, once I make that money just to flow for a certain time. And
Sure.
This money needs to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so that it builds but so it's that kind of a thinking that you also need to have. So that's why I get a scale, basically, you know.
So for you, this education is more of it's opening the mind to different things.
Sure.
You know, because that's your plan B. Honestly, that's your plan B. Abantu bangakuthanda mfethu vandag to be like, oh, Big Sky Fire, hey. And then tomorrow maybe the songs I drop are like,
sure,
whatever, you know. But then, how do I switch that? Because I can tell you now, you're gonna find me hanging on the wall somewhere because now I couldn't, you know. So I need to switch that so that I'll be able to find ways of living with either what I've gathered or start afresh and start something new and gather more coins, you know, because I've got kids that need to go through school, that are looking up to me for survival and you know. And I think a lot of guys, especially now, because we've seen how a lot of the artists back in the day would be like huge
superstars,
like superstars with nothing. Yeah, but
and it's not only artists, like soccer players and stuff too.
Yeah, but we I think we try to learn from those mistakes to better ourselves and make things differently and collect coins differently. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the build up to Fire. Obviously, you're talking about you went and looked for a job. This is 2014, 2015. And then, like, how do you start making music and get back into the entertainment game?
So how I got back into the game. So I was working, right?
Sure.
Earning Zaranyana, but I was bored stiff there. And I was like, you know what, I need to get back into this thing, but I need to get back into this thing smartly so that I make coins. Then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna DJ. But if they don't book me, I'm gonna do my gigs. I won't.
Because you've been throwing gigs back in the day.
Yeah,
sure.
I won't. So then I came back, started rocking, I hit up niggas and like, excuse me, put me on, even if it's an opening, whatever. Like I was literally like game zero. Right? Came back, rocked. Soweto everywhere. Like I make sure that every party I go Soweto, I'm there.
I was street bashing.
Yeah, you know.
It is what it goes down. Yeah.
And by then I think I was a little smarter that if they give me an opening set, I play an opening set.
You don't try to shine.
I don't try to shine or whatever, you know. And then if they give me, because already
you're smart about it.
If they give you a 6-pack.
Yeah, they give me 6 packs. Sometimes it's 4 pack. You know? Yeah, but I knew what I wanted. You know, so I was just like rock. Then we went rock. Then I started throwing my own gigs. Right? Now, throwing my own gigs, how do I get an advantage in my own gigs? Now I start booking these guys that were giving me free gigs. Now I play for these guys for free. They wanna come
for free. Yeah. Simple. That's business, right?
That's smart. So now that's how I made my money. Right? Not by the bookings, but by the events. Right? So I do my events. My costs are low because the guys are doing favors for me because I did favors for them. Yada yada. You know.
Sure.
Then the brand is growing. The fans are okay. The associations and the links are okay.
Sure.
The people are trusting now the brand because the brand is rocking on those parties and his party is rocking. You know. Then we keep it moving. Then I was like, you know what? My biggest dream was to be an artist. I remember when I started, like I was like, yo, I just want to play for like 10,000 people. You know. I was like, okay, we need that. Like, how do we get that? Okay, you need to get back to doing music because that's what you love. You know, and I used to like write a lot, you know. It was funny, I used to write love letters for my friends for their girls.
Yo, I did some other.
You know, boys.
The girls, did they get the girls?
Yeah, they get the girls. If me, I wrote it for you.
It's done.
You get the gift, you know?
Yeah.
So I literally went back into that, and then I started doing some work with the guys I used to work with there at Bomba Records, Mncedisi's label. And we started doing some work, started releasing some music, you know. So the passion sort of rose again, you know. And I think 2014, late or 2015, I released my first ever single that said DJ Bigsky.
What was the name?
The name of the song was it featured Heavy Quarters, Kanjina. It was Kanjina. Rocked Kanjina. But before I'd released some music with Jazz. But this one was like DJ Bigsky.
What type of music were you making back then? Because I can
it was Afro.
Oh, Afro,
I mean, that was
okay.
like the vibe then,
Oh,
you know?
okay.
It was Afro. Then post that, I dropped a song called Shelela, right? And I think this was the song, and around that time there was Sweet Sunday that was starting in Soweto, and I was like the resident DJ there.
Okay.
Right? I was like the main man, because I was like closing the show all the time, you know.
I love how you made Soweto like your main, since you are from
you know, so
built your name up there.
and for me it was important to do that, because like up until even like Fire dropped, you know, Soweto kept me going. You know, I was never like really broke, flat.
Sure.
You know, yes, you know, like brokenness has levels.
Yeah, it is levels.
But sometimes somebody's like, I've got 5,000, I'm so broke. I'm broke 50,000, I'm broke. You know. Yeah, but I was never like broke, like flat. You know, because
that one where the kid is talking. Yes, I need a new school shoes. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Do a gig.
So like I was still able to get my kids through school, decent schooling. I was still able to pay for the house. I had a jolopi, you know. So I'm okay. You know what I mean? Then we just moving. We meet up with guys. Met Choco. They had a group called Melon Dome. I don't know if you know that song, Fill My Cup. Yeah, well, it was like a big song with my wife and stuff, you know. And I met the guys through that. We started working together. We had a song together called Shelela. And it was a big song in the hood, you know. It was a big song in the hood. And that really sort of cemented the Bigsky brand.
As an artist.
Yeah, right. And from there, I also started making moves towards like doing merchandise, like selling Bigsky caps. Because, you know, like I said, you know, scale is important, because then I started like, okay, now what else can we do with this brand? And I started selling merchandise, Bigsky caps, from Bigsky caps to like t-shirts. And it was like a really vibe in the hood, you know. It inspired a whole lot of guys as well to follow through onto that. And then inevitably I wanted to grow bigger, right? So my next big move was festivals. So I got a huge picnic, you know. And I started hosting a few of those. Not expecting much turnout or returns. Then they started moving. Then Touch Bigsky Picnic was born. Did Touch Bigsky Picnic, booked guys, rocked. First one was nice. Second one, like, okay, you know what? Let's go big. We booked Outer Fields, the Dobsonville Stadium.
Can you please just like touch on like throwing an event? Because when I think of throwing it, I've never done it.
If you want to grow old very fast.
Like I can imagine it's so difficult. Yeah. Just like the stress, paying people, making sure everything is right.
Have you seen someone just throwing an event? You can't even talk to them for 5 seconds. Can you just...
Sure.
Yeah. So
it's hard.
I was that guy. Yeah, it was hard. And the bigger it is,
The more stress.
Yeah, the more stress, you know. But I've always been, you know, looking back, I think I've always been that guy that just took a risk with his passion, you know. And I've been lucky that I've maybe inspired other people to participate in my dreams, you know. With the one that we did at Outer Fields, we didn't have a lot of sponsors. There was one major sponsor that supported with sound, and then friends from the hood, you know, that they sponsored, you know. Geez, man, I'll mention the names. You know, like Bafugen Corner came on board. KOL came on board, like that sponsored me with furniture and stuff, you know. Nippy Avenue came on board with tents and more furniture.
So when you say they sponsored you, you mean like they gave them to you and then you have to advertise their name?
Not even, bro. Like
It just helped.
Like they'll come through and they'll be like, okay, dude, this tent is worth X amount if we hire it out.
Sure.
You know? If you've got the money, you can give us half or whatever that you've got.
Oh, okay, I see.
Or even a case where I said, okay, no, if it didn't work out, it's fine. This is a rapper.
Yeah, just like negotiating.
Yeah, this is a rapper, and then we'll then just wrap it over time with whatever that's working relations we've got, you know. And I felt it's important that I mention that now here, that Bigsky is not just an isolated brand that just came up on its own. You know, there's people.
I'm not gonna lie. From your story, the number one thing that I've picked up is like the importance of relationships.
No, dog.
You have said relationships, Boma, 4 or 5 times.
You know, and literally that's what made me survive. You know, and yeah. So homies came on. We tried out stuff. Like Bafugang even chipped out cash, dog. You know, and weather messed us up like.
That's another nightmare of events, bro.
Yeah, you know, weather was crazy, man. Yeah, it hit us hard. It was a loss, and then we kept it moving. Did other events during the year to recover. There were bookings because the brand now is trusted, you know.
Sure, yeah.
So we kept it moving. Then the following year, I was like, okay. So the event was a success in terms of execution. It is just the weather messed us up. We couldn't get the numbers.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, cool. Next year we even go bigger. We do Elka Stadium. Elka Stadium. Now Elka Stadium.
You check the forecast.
Man, after the story, I'll tell you my story about the weather. So now the Touch Bigsky picnic is on the 1st of Jan.
New Year's.
Yeah, and people keep saying to me, it's the worst day. It's like, wow, it's the rain. Like, last year it didn't rain, but like the weather just switched up late, you know, it became cold. In the middle of summer, it's like you're freezing cold. It's like wind, tents were flying, you know. 2019. 2019 comes. Touch Bigsky picnic, Elka Stadium. Line up. Sisima Josie, Shimza, More Flavor. Blindo, Kent, who else?
I know that's his.
I understand.
That's his.
Yeah, I'll count Bigsky as well.
Sure.
You know? So, in the books,
That's good.
is the one, right? We'll do our marketing in December, heavy posters everywhere. Soweto TV is on board, so like, we've got a TV campaign running, a radio campaign running, flyers, posters. So everything is
looking clean.
Social media in check. Can I understand? The pre-sold is running. I'm smiling.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this one is the one. 31 December. No, 30 December. Rain starts. Like, this rain. Check the forecast. It says 1 December is raining. But the hype is there. People are like, no, it's not. They are coming.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. 31 December. There is raining the whole day.
You.
I remember I went to compute ticket and I was parked outside there. And I was looking at all the weather focus sites
You.
You didn't trust
on
the
this internet.
That's why.
I mean, like, I was going through all of them. Like, straight to the next one I find. Soweto weather. 100% rain.
Yeah.
Actual weather. 100% rain. Next one. 100% rain. So, now it's the 31st. It's the day of the setup there. And the pitch is damp. Like,
You.
I'm like, dude, what do we do? Talk to the team. Guys. So what do we do? It's like, Ash, what do you think? Like, let's postpone it. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, let's postpone it. You know? Cool. Rich decision. Postpone. And the value we postpone, the first is raining the whole day. Okay, cool. Relatively good decision. Some sponsors pull out because now double booking. Postpone to month end. Month end comes. Now we have to change lineup. Majosi is not available. But paid.
Inconveniences.
And costs. Because now you're doing the gig again.
Yeah.
Because you must remember now there's marketing again. So, sharp. Day comes, everything is set up. People are coming through, you know. Now, because people are not trusting, the prepaid is not really moving that much. They're waiting for the gate. Everything is set up nicely. 90 event starts. We're pushing. 3 p.m. 2:30 clubs.
You guys.
Oh, this is party or something. You know?
Clubs come. 3:30 starts rain. Hey man. No, don't know. It's passing. It's passing.
That's what you're telling yourself.
Me and everybody
And the
else,
team,
you know, that's
yeah.
there to support, you know.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, cool. It's passing. And it passes there. And it passes for like 30 minutes. And then again. And then again. I think it rained like 4 times, like heavy. By the third time, I'm like,
I can't
it's
wait.
fine. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. So that one got rained out as well and became like a huge loss because I had taken up a lot of my own money and plugged it in there, you know? And when that one bummed out, it really hit me hard psychologically, you know? Where I was like, you know what? Nah.
Were you like going through depression? or
Yeah, no,
something?
like straight up.
Did you not like rain like for 3 months?
Straight up, dog. Like, straight up, like, you know, I'd see a cloud and I'd probably hope if I had a gun, like, you know, something,
Sure.
you know. But on the real, like, you know, I
You're
think
going through it.
I was depressed for a long time, you know, because then you think I'm growing, things aren't happening, I'm losing money, you know, maybe this thing is not mine. Maybe I'm supposed to be doing this thing, you know. And then during that time of the whole depression, so I think I had just made up my mind. I was like, you know what, give me a chance.
I'm out.
Yeah, no.
I've had it.
I did my thing, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. And during that time now, also the brand is growing. I'm playing Boma. What's that thing? Spring Fiesta, you know. rocking Skin Fiesta. I'm rocking, there's the other Fiesta that they did in Soweto. So the brand is growing, but the pocket is not. I'm literally just wasting my time. Yeah, and I'd gotten to a point where I made up my mind, like, you know what?
I've heard him now.
It's fine. Started calling old friends. Hey, Benji, very Nandi. Aren't you guys hiring or something?
Corporate.
Yeah, you know. Really? Nah, dog, look, I'm done. So during that time, you know, because we gotta keep it moving. So we're still working. Not like I closed off completely.
Sure.
Then I meet a girl called Nobantu Villagas. You guys are gonna start seeing her now because she's featuring on a lot of music. I meet that girl, and they've got this vibe, you know, like, you know, people that are excited just to do their thing, you know.
Yeah.
And she works with a guy called Kama, you know. So they perform every now and then, separate and whatnot. And I'm like, but guys, because you got such a nice vibe together, why don't you just
make it a group thing?
You know, make it a group thing and rock. Then they put that together and start pushing a little bit. Then this one time, Navantu calls me up. She's got like a gig at Roadhouse.
Yeah.
I think it was a Friday or something. He's like, please come through and play. I'm like, okay, cool. But in my heart, I don't want to go. I'm like, stay. But anyway, let's go. I rock up there. I was rolling with Choco and Mox. Then we had the gig. I rock, nice, Nandi. After I finished playing, I'm like, hi guys, I'm gonna see you. I'm going home. They're like, no, man, chill a little bit. Relax. Relax. Okay, cool. Chill, Yana. During that chill moment, a guy of mine called Jomo from Dobsonville. I know him from like way there. Like, yo, dog, I want you to meet someone, you know? Cool. It's like, this guy called Lou. Lou the DJ.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Sure, I'm done. I have none. Check. No, he does beats. He rocks, you know.
He's lit.
Okay, cool. No, cool. No, you must just send me some of your stuff and let's hear what's what, you know. That kind of cool. As we're having that chat,
sure.
So Spanga used to work there as well. He was like a barman.
This is in Dopsy, ne?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after barman vibes, he'll become like the MC at the gig.
Sure.
Right?
And that's
so you get on the mic, you know.
Yeah,
okay.
so get on the mic.
So how are he the tallest barman?
Yeah, so like he'd be like at the bar, serving. And then after a while, he just go grabs the mic, you know.
And he was a vibe, you could see.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but I wasn't even there. Then he starts rocking Satane Sugendlele. You know?
Sure.
And then the people they are singing along to this thing. I'm like, hey, try this one.
Sure.
You know? But still, you know, like, you know, when your heart is not there, you're like, okay, I'm cool. Then he rocks the cover,
because it was already a church thing, then.
Yeah, so
like,
but
in times.
But the people there, I think, already knew it.
Oh.
So it was like a huge vibe.
Okay, sure.
Like starts rocking. People like fire.
They all say it, yeah. You were just there like, what's going on?
You know,
But you know, that's the same feeling I got the first time I heard that song. I was walking in Poriland, the neon party.
Yeah.
That song started playing. Everyone's like fire. I'm like, guys, what's going on? Sketch.
Yeah. You know. So it was like divine intervention if you look at it in hindsight, because of everything that I was going through at the time.
You didn't even want to go to the gig.
I didn't want to go, you know. So like there was that push that was saying, look, just go. You know, just go. And then by that chance or by that intervention, I meet Lou, I meet Spanga same time. Right? And okay, already with the chats with the boy, then Choco and Mox are like, no, fine, let's talk to the boy and pull through to studio, you know? Okay, cool. Get the boy's number. We leave there, and I'm like, Monday morning, manje macala bathi indaba there's nothing yet.
Sure.
Okay. Then Mox keeps hassling me, dog, dead boy. And by that time, Lou had sent me 2 beats already. Dead boy. Okay, cool. Think about my Thursday, call or Wednesday. Hit Brurape over Kakanya, as well as Oglanda Studio, 2.5 hours later, song done.
Yo.
And now we are listening to this thing, we're like,
yeah, like where we're sitting right now.
No,
it wasn't here.
It was in Pimva.
Mm.
Yeah. Then same weekend, there was a place I used to play at on Sundays. It was owned by a friend of mine, so we used to have sessions there. No, not same weekend. Maybe like a couple of weeks later.
But did you know that the song, while you were making it after those 2.5 hours, you're like, no, man, this one, you know, the whole Amapiano coming in. Did you ever feel it?
The Amapiano was already like...
Oh, it was already established.
Yeah, it was already rocking. But honestly, after we made the song, I knew it was a good song, but I didn't know it was a great song. Up until the first time I played it. You know? So the first time I played the song, and I think that's like the slight advantage about being a DJ.
Yeah.
Because the response about do is not bought. You know, you can buy a lot of things in the industry.
But then you can't. When the beat drops, if you don't go crazy.
So rock the song for the first time. And by the third chorus, everyone was just like going fire to the song, you know? Then I'm like, I call and
we are here.
this one. You know?
You even stop job searching, job hunting.
And they call you.
Like, you know?
Sure.
And I was like, you know what? But I figured it's all.
Sure, yeah.
So I was like, maybe this is it, you know? Then I literally just took everything that I had and put it on this thing. I was like, okay, let's go, you know? Yeah, then we dropped the song. I hustled a couple of people in the industry, try to get PR and all the things that we needed to push the song. And we pushed the song, and I mean, you know, like they say, the rest is history, you know? The song took off, and it literally, I think literally just put me where I am now, where I wanted to be for years, you know. Yeah, man, and we just kept on going. Yeah, until going.
Sure. Why did you decide to stick to working with Spama and Lou the DJ specifically? Because I can imagine that, okay, now you have the song, maybe you'd want to start working with more people or whatever, but you're like, I'm gonna keep it tight and just release songs with them.
Okay, so after Fire,
Sure.
then there was a fallout with Lou, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was a fallout.
Can you like tell us about it?
Okay, so I won't go into specific details, but it was that situation of we had the song together.
Sure.
So in my head, I was like, you know what? The Scorpion Kings was actually starting to pop as well. Then I was like, maybe we can start forming something similar. You know, that's why even on the song it's Bigsky
it's you and him,
the DJ. You know?
Sure.
And that's the conversation I had with him. It's, look, dog, we can grow this thing and do whatever. I mean, I'll hook up this, you hook up this, and we move. You know, and maybe he just didn't see the dream the way I saw it. You know. Then when I started pushing the song, he was sort of slacking.
You were putting in most of the work to make sure that it's out there.
And then we were pushing. Then at some point, then I decided, you know what, it's fine. I don't have to force him to be part of this, you know. But I see where this thing is going, you know. And he's very talented and yada yada, but I can't really drag him because then it's gonna slow us down.
Sure.
Then we started pushing. Spana was like really keen, so anytime I hit him up, like, yo, let's go rock fire, Kai. He's there, you know. He's there, you know. Then I saw which even the whole performance angle is actually working, because I'm very performance based. Like I like, that's why
even like putting on a show.
Yeah, that's why
even when you came to Massive, remember it was like, yo, Baba, this is a full on show. This
I understand, you know. And even that Massive gig was like the one that literally became the pimple out of the skin, Safari.
Really?
Like it stood out, you know. And that's where everyone saw.
Sure, that one, yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was like,
yeah. So, and if you remember, it was like memes everywhere of that show. So that day we recorded that show. We did a recording again of Live Amp, and we did a recording of I think Metro FM as well. Right. So as we were rolling, now I'm working with Chok. Chok is like my artist, you know.
Sure.
And he's good with performances. Then I partnered him up with Usbana so that we give like a dope show, right? So I think the boys mind, and they even made jokes about it. They thought I'm replacing Lou
with Chok.
Oh. You know, to a point that they sometimes started calling him that. And she wasn't like, no, guys, it's not.
They started calling Chok Lou.
Yeah.
Yo.
You know. And then we started pushing that.
Cause I get it, because then it was the three of you, so they would think if you're now on stage.
The title of the song is Three of Us.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
but,
I get it.
Why I put him there is because then he adds.
He was adding on to the performance of the show. Yeah.
Sure. Then on that day of the recording of all these things, then I think he saw on socials or whatever. Then he hit me up, he's like, yo, why didn't you invite me or whatever, you know? So in my head I'm like, but dude, like, oh. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
sure.
We've been, and now because
now you're like on,
and then
fire.
Yeah.
On fire.
And then it became an issue with him. Then he did like a video or some shit like that and put it out on social media and whatever. And to me, because I was just focused on the work,
sure.
I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna detract and try to do a video saying, no,
it's actually, like this and this
and you know, and a little bit to my detriment, because some people still feel that I did him wrong and whatnot, you know, when they don't know the backstory.
They don't know the full story.
And I've had chats with him about it, and we're cool now and whatnot, but that thing is there still.
But then he must, you know, doesn't he necessarily need to honestly just make it also a public statement that this happened? So
that is up to him.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, that is up to him to pull that vibe. I can't really sort of force him to, you know.
But he's still like a talented kid.
He is,
like,
and now he's like
make music.
He is making music, and he's working with Major League now.
Okay.
Did a lot of stuff, and for me, I think that was the idea. Which I don't want now to trash him and make him
to make him
shitty or whatever. Sure, you know, it's okay. You're a kid. You posted whatever you posted. I know what I know, you know what you know, so we just keep it moving. You know, if at the end of the day you did a dope beat and nobody takes that away from you.
Sure.
You know, it's not like I came out and said, no, I did this beat or whatever, you know. I'm the producer of the song, but I didn't do the beat. He did the beat. You understand? And I credited him for that. Even when royalties came out.
Sure.
None. You understand?
So it's not like you robbed him.
No. Yeah, well.
And that's how it would look.
But that's how it looks to the public, you know. So for me, it's always been a situation of, look, dog, if you want to know, ask me, and then I'll tell you. Like you guys asking me now, and I'll tell you. You know, I'm not gonna go on platforms. For me, the platforms are the growth of DJ Bigsky, not the distraction of the boy.
Sure.
Distraction boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So So yeah, but anyway, that's history, at least in my books. And like I said, now he's working with the major league.
Sure.
He's produced some stuff for other people, and I'm cool, you know, and I'm happy that is happening with him, you know, because the major here was, you know, besides my own growth, you grow more when you grow through others.
Sure.
Do you understand what I mean? Because like you can imagine, you know, like a spool putting together like a massive metro. So how many people has he put on?
Talent,
you know. Bruce are confident now to be on radio, to do shows like these, to other stuff. You know what I mean? So that's his legacy. That's his expansion. That's his extension. No man this guy had
a huge influence,
and a huge role,
but also
impact on what you're doing now
Definitely.
and who you are now. You understand? So for me, that's that, you know. But then moving further, then we did Kushu with Kaba Canal and Spang, you know, and we
Back to back now.
You got 2 hits now.
2 of them. You know, then we did Kushu. And the weird thing is, Kushu, that's actually my favorite song. Like,
I know.
you know, as artists, you have a big song, which for you is, it's a song. People like it. Okay, cool.
Sure.
You know? But Kushu, I was like, yo, no, guys, this is a freaking flame. Right? Then, after we had Kushu, so the plan was, Fire is rocked 2019 December, right? Going into 2020 and still flowing.
Sure.
Now we like getting booked for performing at awards and as young and I'm you know, even I wake up in the morning and look at the bank statement. I not funny boy.
It's nice.
You know, now we're moving.
I just wanted to ask before we continue, how did you get the clearance in terms of the Hugh Masekela bit part in Kush?
Cool. So on that song, there actually isn't any Hugh Masekela. So all the parts that you hear being sung are sung by Span.
Oh, dog! Even Chop was telling us now. Yeah, that's what I was saying. We were like, who's screaming this? Like it's banger.
Everything.
Yo.
So that song, there's no sample on that song.
Damn.
Not one sample.
Like I keep on asking myself, Samavi. I'm like,
so the motivation and the idea, yes.
Yeah, definitely,
right.
Sure.
Timer, because I remember even the story. The guys had done the hook. Then when I came in, they put something else on. You know, I was like, this one is not.
Let's
the
go
one.
back.
Sure.
You know, so I'm like, no, man. You know, the whole kushu thing. How's about we work on the stimula by? They're like, huh? Because I was a young man.
Yeah.
I'm like, you too. This one. You know? Like, okay. But how? I'm like, okay, cool, that's true. Then we rocked it, packaged it, put it together, you know, flip the whole stimula samapia.
I know, that's
You know when you sit there, where you're sitting, okay, that one we rocked it here.
Yo.
And this is one studio. I was sitting there, I was like, I know, this is us. This is us, boys. This is us. You know? Then we wrote it and I was like, okay, cool. So for me, like, I test music whenever I DJ. Cause that gives you, you know, sometimes like there's genuine hits and then there's hits that
are forced because that
forced will take time. Yeah, do you understand?
Sure.
And then with this one, it didn't really hit like Fire did.
Sure.
Right? But you could see like the response is not a what's this now?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But I liked it. And I loved it so in my head, you know, when you start tutoring yourself, like, but yeah, maybe it's not gonna be like A.
Sure.
So it's gonna be A.
Yeah. A gradual,
Yeah.
slow build.
You know?
Yeah.
And in hindsight, it became that.
Yeah.
And then, so the projection was, okay, we're gonna still push Fire. Because now, even Fire, as much as it did this, it then was still...
It had long legs.
Yeah, but...
It's not like it just died
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't want to disturb the flow of Fire. But I just, when I see which, okay, now we're hitting the pinnacle, then kushu.
Sure.
Then COVID happened.
Yes.
Like literally, if you remember, I don't know if you remember the days, COVID literally happened after the Mzansi Awards, Mzansi Viewers Awards.
Oh yes.
That's when the lockdown.
DSTV.
The viewer's choice.
Viewer's choice.
Sure,
yeah. So the viewer's choice were on Saturday.
Mm.
And then on Monday,
Lockdown.
Okay. No, but it's fine. So the music is still there, it's playing, people are loving it, people are now relating to the brands and lockdown extension. Level 5.
The time we thought it was gonna be 21 days, remember? We're like, 21 days will be fine. Can't
dude.
you?
Now I've got this thing here that is
It's just chilling.
but it's hot. And now I don't know when this lockdown is ending and are we moving forward or moving backwards? That's what, you know. Do I release the song? Or do I just throw in other songs, you know, where that's just fillers, you know? But I'm like, just fillers when you've got this thing there, fine. You need something.
Because people start thinking it's a one situation.
And then I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like, we can't control what we can't control. So let's just put the song out. Put the song out there, sample radio. I think number 5 on Metro FM, number 1 on Mncedisi, number 1 on Tobel, number 1. That one.
Sure.
I'm like, you.
For it to be number 1, it's been played for a while.
You know, I'm
especially after Fire, dog. It's like,
you know, so then, like, I was literally like, you know, when you know how a kid is happy, like a kid is happy unconditionally, not because of money or anything. They are just like, wow, you know.
Sure.
So I literally had that. I was like, my God, like I've got a number 1 song. What? And this is a guy that like almost fell out to a few months ago.
Sure.
You know, I was like, wow, like God is real, for real, you know. Yeah. Then the song pushed. Unfortunately, we're not on the ground. But when the country reopened, people loved it because there's big songs on radio, but they're not making it in the streets.
Sure.
This one was like boom, you know. So when people came back, then they were like fucking with Fire, with Kushu a lot, and it pushed. I mean, 2020, that was like one of the biggest songs in the country. And by then, Polo was recorded already. So we like, you know, we had, you know, like with the recording, like even now here, you know, the songs that we recorded maybe like last year, June.
Sure.
You know. Then we started working towards the album. We used the lockdown time to really put more time on the album. We worked on the album. And then with Polo, we went to perform Polo at the Double Shames at the lockdown house party.
Oh, yeah.
So we rocked Fire, rocked Kushu, and then rocked Polo. The response was amazing for Polo. Like, hey, you know when your DJ friends that call you, hey, okay, now, sure, Kushu, fair, Ukraine. Yeah.
Sure.
So which one is that one? The last one?
Yeah.
Guys, a new one, that one. Please bring it like weight.
Sure.
You know? So, but I wanted a different feel to it.
But tell me, was this before Robert Boyce
It
versus?
was before. If you
Yeah, I know both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you catch the first one,
Mm.
it's without Robert Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you met him at the lockdown house, but also he was like, yeah.
Yeah. No, but I knew him
yeah.
from way back, you know. I think we met through a girl called Tato.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Tato wanted to put him on to the show that I did, like the gigs and stuff. So that's when we met. And I was telling him that, you know, I've been saying, oh, Tato, yeah, I actually forgot. You know, because I mean, we meet a lot of people. But ever since we sort of started seeing each other, like connect. You know, there's people you meet, and then it's like, yeah, sure. And then there's people that's like, you have
build a relationship
chemistry with, like, like in them
yeah,
understand. And then we started being like that, like it just became okay, cool. I shop we move. Lockdown, her house party happened, and his moves were like just starting to blow up, you know. And I was like, you know what? You know. I was like, dog, I want to short verse like man. It's like, yeah, no. And she was like, yeah, short verse like, you must go rock. Like, no, cool, rock. And then we spoke a bit after that. Like, no, you must come through. It came through and it rocked the verse. I mean, it's dope.
That's a dope verse.
Yeah,
it's like rapping on a piano beat, you know?
Yeah, and you see the beautiful thing about him is like he's got bars, like real bars. You know? And that's what I wanted. It's like even if umuntu gets to a point where Aporale with you, you know, but they're looking forward to that,
Don't leave me.
Yeah, you understand.
Yeah, pass like that.
Sure, you understand. So it worked out perfectly. And the song did wonders as well as a follow-up to Kushu Kush. Yeah. And today, here you are interviewing me, you know.
Sure. I know we got the full story, dog.
Yeah.
But then what would you say? Because your story is long. And it's a long
It's long, eh?
Yeah, no, it's very long.
It's too long.
I don't think we were ready. We said 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's been like an hour.
But then tell me, like, what would you say to people they feel like they need to do something, but hey, it's not, things are not adding up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just to keep them motivated.
I think, and this is something I also say to myself, honestly, you know. If you want something, go out for it, and go out for it, like, for real. And what I mean by that is, don't play with your time. You know. For you to learn this camera and be trained with it is not only the process of school, what they teach you, but it's the stuff that you find out when you're using this camera at your free time. You understand? The Ronaldo story, the Messi story, you know, those are the guys that were kicking the ball after everyone has left gym. Those are the guys that kicking the ball at home. Do you understand? So in order for you to be a master of your craft, you need to master the time you spent on your craft. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Even with me, there's a lot of things I feel I let myself down with in not focusing enough time to what I called my dream and my passion and wanted to do. And for me, it's only fair that now that I've been given a little bit of what I've always wanted, to be able to share with you guys and say, yo, dog, if you want to be a dope content producer, focus on your content. You know, if you want to be a dope camera guy, focus on your camera. If you want to be a dope DJ, focus on your equipment. Do you understand? Black Coffee just didn't become the greatest DJ in Africa and now rocking the world by chance. You know, he lived and died for those things. Do you understand? And that's why you'll never be able to do what he does. because you put in time.
Sure.
So you need to put in the same time that you put in order for you to at least compete in that level.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So for me, I could never ever say anything outside of that. Which, yes, there's plan B. Everyone has a plan B and plan whatever. Okay, cool. But how much do you want what you say you want? And how much you want it is dependent on how much time you're willing to put into getting it. And it will reward you.
Sweet, man. Thank you so much, bro.
One more thing. Speak to yourself.
Oh yeah, you have to look in this camera.
And then tell... See, the person which is looking at this video is you 10 years from now. What would you like to say to yourself? Your future self?
To my future self?
10 years from now.
10 years from now. Wow. You did well. You did well despite the circumstances and sometimes the self-doubt that you went through, but you did well, and your work is beyond yourself. Even the work you did for others is great. Never forget that. This guy's awesome.
1, 2.